Okay, let's look at the last one on the graphing review for your final exam. The directions say to graph the conic. The equation is 16x squared minus 9y squared equals 144. So in order to get this into standard form, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to divide everything by 144. When we do that, that enables us to set this equal to 1, and that will give us a better idea of what kind of conic we are dealing with. So when we divide this, we are able to simplify. 16 goes into 16 one time, and it goes into 144 9 times. So we are able to rewrite this as x squared over 9. Then our 9 and our 144, 9 will go into both of those. 9 goes into 9 one time. 9 goes into 144 16 times. So that is going to simplify to y squared over 16. And that is going to be equal to 1. So now, since we have this in standard form, we are able to identify which conic it is. And because of our subtraction sign right here, our conic is going to be a hyperbola. So that is the first part of our question. It is a hyperbola. And our end behavior of the hyperbola is to where we're either looking for the hyperbola with the transverse axis to be horizontal, would be like this. And if our end behavior is supposed to look like this, our transverse axis would be vertical. So all of the hyperbolas and ellipses have a center of 0, 0 that we are dealing with in this class. As you move into pre-calculus, you will deal with hyperbolas and ellipses and parabolas that are not at 0, 0. But for now, we're dealing with them at 0, 0. Now, we have to decide which one of our end behaviors this particular equation is going to give us. And because our x squared comes first, we are going to be looking at a transverse axis that is horizontal. So our end behavior is going to look like this, with the two parabolas and the vertex along the x-axis. So I am going to now identify my A, my B, and my C. Because we're talking about a hyperbola, we're going to use the formula c squared equals a squared plus b squared. And we've got our a and our b. So because it's x squared over 9, that is our a value. The square root of 9 is our a value. So our a value is going to be 3. Because we have minus, that's what makes it a hyperbola. The y squared over 16, the 16 gives us our b value. And so we've got the square root of 16 is 4. So our c squared is going to equal 3 squared plus 4 squared. Okay, so that is 9 plus 16. So c squared is 25. And so our c value is going to be 5. Okay, so since our a value is 3, we are going to put a dot at 0, 0 because that's our origin. And because our a value is 3, our vertices are going to be 3 to the right and 3 to the left of our center. So my vertices are at 3, 0 and negative 3, 0. Okay? Now our b value is our conjugate axis, and that goes up and down. It is the opposite axes from what our vertices and foci are on. So that value is 4. So I am going to go up 4, and I am going to go down 4. Now those are not vertices, but it does help us to make our rectangle, and the rectangle is what guides our graph. Okay? So now I can draw the asymptotes with my rectangle. and the asymptotes guide our graph. So I'm going to do the graph in a different color. Let's do red. And so our vertex is right here. And we go up to the asymptotes. So here is our hyperbola. Now we have not identified our foci yet. And the question doesn't ask for the lines of our asymptotes, but I just want to remind you what that is. The asymptotes are y equals, and it's b over a. And our b is 4 and our a is 3. So that's going to be 4 over 3x. This is plus 0 because our center starts at 0. So it's y equals 4 over 3x. Our other asymptote is right here, and it is negative b over ax. So this asymptote is y equals negative 4 over 3x. And our b value, y equals mx plus b, is 0 because we go through the origin. So those are our asymptotes. And this particular problem doesn't ask us about asymptotes, but that is something that may come up in the future. So you want to be aware of the slope of those asymptotes and how that works. Now, if you ever get confused and you're not real sure how to identify the asymptotes, remember that you can I was trying to get us a different color, but that's not going to happen. Okay. So anyway, remember that you can start here, and this is up 4, and over 2. That's how we get our 4 over 3. This is down 4 and to the right 3. So that's how we get this asymptote. So you can use the diagonals of your rectangle to do that. Now our last point that we need to plot is for our foci. And because our C value is 5, we are going to go 5 spaces to the right of our center and 5 spaces to the left of our center. So this point right here is one of our foci, and here is the other foci. So that point is 5, 0 and negative 5, 0. Your foci is always on the same axes as your vertices. That is on your transverse axis. So here you go, and this is how you graph this hyperbola.